Well, here we are in beautiful downtown Hardin, Illinois. Hardin's just north of St. Louis, about 45 miles maybe, and it sits right on the Illinois River, and that's what you're looking at right now. And it pretty much tells a story. The town's been devastated by floods, and it's all over the place, and that's what I wanted to do when I set out to take a look and just see what it was all about. This time I got a river perspective from a couple of my friends in a boat. We just took off to take a look. That's their sister's house, the guys who were taking me around, and we worked for about 13 days trying to save this house and all the houses along with it, sandbagging. And we were holding back probably 8 to 10 feet of water, and it got too dangerous, so we just stopped and turned everything off and said, let the water take over. There's nothing we could do about it. This is just one block, the first block that gets affected the worst by the water when it came up. It started flooding back in April, I think. April 16th is when they put the first sandbag down. There's a little birdhouse sitting at the edge. That shows you where the river usually is. It's usually not even close to being even with that birdhouse. It's way back, but that's the side of the road. That's the only sandbag levee right now that's holding in Hardin, and it's still holding, but they're expecting another 1.5 feet of water to come. I don't know what they're going to do with that, but we'll wait and see. But that's about all you've got to stand by with. There's some street signs for you. Flood video is flood video. I guess once you've seen them, if you don't know anything about the area, it pretty much looks the same, and maybe just by sitting here talking to you, describe to you a little bit about it. There are only 2 blocks in Hardin you can drive around now. Every other one is flooded somehow. And it's a town of 1,100 people, so it's not a big place to begin with, but now there's no use to even have a car because you just walk everywhere. This is downtown. To give you an idea, that pavilion you see just off to the right that went off screen is about 10 feet high to the bottom of it. That's how high the water is. It's right along the road. The water pump station where everybody comes in to get their water from out of town. They come in from the country and take a look. They're not getting any water. I guess they don't need it now. But it's all bottled water in Hardin now anyway, so that's the way it goes. There's the beautiful downtown Main Street of Hardin. Post office on the left there, little building. They've moved out. There's the bank. That's basically the icon of people. They kind of see it, and if they can hold the water back there, it's almost like you've won a little bit of a battle, but that's all they've got left to save. They've pretty much quit sandbagging in Hardin at this point. There's nothing they can do. It's just my little town, man, and you look at it and it's devastating. There's our bridge, the Joe Page Bridge. It's a fine piece of art.
Who's Joe Page?
I have no clue who Joe Page is. They just named a bridge after him, gosh darn it, and we couldn't be more pleased. Right now, nobody can get across the bridge. The levee on the other side of the river broke, and everything's flooded. You'll see that in just a little bit. And they won't let people get on the bridge because people were going all the way to the top to take video, and it got a little too dangerous, so nobody gets on the bridge anymore. This is about as close as you come. Normally, you can't come within 15 to 20 feet of touching the bridge. As you can see, it's pretty close.
How's the water? You're getting filmed from behind, too.
We were thinking about leaving them there for a while, but decided to be nice and come back and get them. And we're just flying up the river, taking a look. It's pretty much of a mess everywhere. This is a little restaurant, and 20 years ago they got flooded, and they totally built up to another level. They were underwater before, so they built up another level, thinking the water would never get in there again, and they're pretty much having to deal with the flood again.
There's a walk-in, man. That's how close they got. Oh, they're running too. I told Billy that they're out.
That's their parking lot. I don't know how long they've been closed for. Probably a month. It's the way around Hardin. A fine little boat. People still living in that house. From what I've heard, it didn't get in their house yet. Those are fine little concrete teepees out in front of the high school. You can see where it says Calhoun High School, barely. And the water goes way up the road. It's just a bunch of flat land and it just keeps going. There's where the National Guard is staying while they're in town. There's about 50 or 60 of them in there. And they're just in town for security purposes. No ball games today, I guess. Otherwise, they'd be posted on that sign.
So what would be normally under your boat? Is that a highway?
That's a highway. Yeah, that's Highway 100 or 96. I don't know what the heck it is. It's about 5 feet underwater. These people built their house, and when they built it, they had to build it out of the floodplain, and they did, supposedly. And they never thought the water would get into it. And it's getting in, but they're, for the most part, keeping it out. But it's getting in their basement and stuff. That family's had some tough luck with the flood. We'll show his son's house later. The guys that are in the boat with me, this is their bar. They've been in it for about a year. And they took... Still doesn't look the nicest in the world, but it's kind of a fun place to go hang out. And they took it from a dump, what it was before, and now it's a dump again. They just built batting cages in the back. And that's what it looks like on the inside. When you walk into a place like this, it had been all closed up and steamy and a very nasty foul smell when you walk in. Something you hear a lot about when it comes to floods, but it is very nasty. A lot of old stale beer and flood water and mud. The day after we shot this video, I believe they went in and got all their games out, so everything's okay with those. Taking pictures for insurance.
Oh, what do you think, man?
Devastation.
Is that all you can say?
Just about. You swim to the bar, that's about it.
Now, today's what, the 22nd? You guys have been closed for how long?
We've been closed for 2.5 weeks and probably looking at, at least 2 months we'll be shut down.
Really?
Probably 2 months, and then depending on what it does to this building, was built in the late 40s. There'll be a lot of repair work.
You up for it?
I guess. Find out if we get a bridge coming across. By the time the water goes down, nobody will have any money to sit at the bar anyway.
Now let's say you get the chance to rebuild. Will you put it back here and keep it going, or will you move it?
Probably rebuild here.
Any particular reason? Just because this is the spot where it's at?
It's a decent location out of town, and you don't have to contend with traffic and cops and everything.
Now, the last time you were up here was, what, a day and a half ago, 2 days ago?
Yeah.
How deep was it in here then?
Raised about 6 inches. Raised 6 inches in about a day and a half.
Supposed to be correct.
It was supposed to have crested that day. Every day it's supposed to crest, it keeps coming more.
It's a big part of the story. They say the water's going to stop, but it just never stops coming. Never stops.
Talk to your insurance company about all this. Is it going to be a total wash?
I don't know. Well, no, we don't, not as much as we have in it. We only got covered up to 20,000 on contents, and there's way over 20,000 in contents in here. Trying to add everything up. Coolers are shot. Furnace is going to be shot. Walls. That might come on building, but still, we're way behind. Even if we do get the money out of it.
Those guys weren't going to get flood insurance, but they decided they better when they figured the water might crest about 9 inches away from their building, so they got it. And in order for flood insurance to come in, you've got to wait 5 days, keep the water out of your building for 5 days. They made it. They were some of the lucky ones. This is East Hardin, Illinois, where a levee broke, and right now we're on Highway 16 coming out of Hardin, the main road out of Hardin. And we're probably on top of about 15 feet of water, as you can see by the power lines. As you can see by this coming up. Watch those power lines. Luckily, they've got all the power turned off there, obviously. And that all used to be land, and it's totally gone now. Just little houses. All this stuff floating around in the water you see is corn stalks. A whole bunch of cornfields there that are now just gone. That lucky gentleman right there had no flood insurance. Unfortunately, he lost everything.
The story behind that?
Well, I don't know the story. I heard he gave his wife some money to go get flood insurance, and she decided this was probably a good time to leave him. And took his $1,700 and got him no flood insurance, and then the levee broke.
That's just a rumor.
That's a rumor. I don't know if it's true, but I haven't seen her around town.
In East Hardin, Illinois. You think they serve sardines on their pizzas now?
It's the home of pizza. It's gone. They just built that about, 2 years ago maybe. And there's the highway. That's how you get out of Hardin. There are no easy ways out now. It's all country back roads.
Is it?
You'll see a lot of this out there. A lot of animals running to higher ground. They said when the levee first broke, the water was coming in, and the roads were just black from all the bugs going over the roads, coming out of the fields and stuff. But you can't see that here. We tried to catch the little bunny, but he ran away from us and hopped into the tree in the background. It's just unbelievable when you really look at it and think, look how the house is tilted up. How can water actually do that? It comes in and it's so quiet when you're out there. It's just so peaceful, and yet everything's just gone. This right here, to people who lived in my town, really showed them how high the water was. That car is probably 16 feet up in the air, and from what we heard, this is what everybody has to go do, get their picture taken by the car at Bob's Used Auto Parts. It's a junkyard. There are probably hundreds of cars underneath the water right now. People's business is just gone. There I am, on top of the car. Give the camera to amateurs, look what happens.
All that in the background, all that water, is
What do
that
you think?
normally there? or
No,
what?
oh no, that's all flat farmland. And it pretty much goes all the way to the bluffs in the background that you can see. And it's about 13 feet deep all the way over there. We're probably a mile from where the river normally is, right at this point in time. It's just shy. Somebody's fine house. It's been knocked off the foundation. And it took a day, basically a day, for it to fill in like this. Just a big tank floating around. Water everywhere. There's some fine hog houses somebody just built, started up. Put about $500,000 into it, I think, and they got almost all their hogs out, I believe, except for about 17. They shipped them all off to the market and got them out, luckily. They lost a lot, but not as much as they could have lost. It's a brand new house a guy just built. That's the second floor that you're looking at.
That might be a rat.
Which one?
First floor is all gone.
Right here.
Yep.
This is a part about the flood.
You got a little bag? No, it ain't. It's a fucking rat.
There's a rat, all seeking higher ground.
Yeah.
You got to be careful when you drive around houses in a boat, so you don't break any windows, don't make any big wakes. This is what animals eat, since they have no food. That's a hog floating around the water.
What's been eaten on it, I wonder? Everything?
Everything. Not much left to eat.
They didn't get that out. That's one of 17, I guess. That's usually all farmland, folks. Gone. It's just peace and quiet, too. You hear the birds chirping. Stuff just floating around. Every now and then when we were riding along, we'd have to lift our motor on the boat. That's what you hear in the background. That zzz. That's the motor being lifted because we'd get corn caught in it. You could run for about 3 minutes and then you'd have to stop, let the corn out, and keep going.
Not a very common problem.
No, not really. It doesn't happen all the time, but it does there now. And more water yet to come. That's the end of the bridge. Here's the water still coming over the levee. You can see little currents of it coming out. And that's still filling in. We thought we could get across in this spot right here. But unfortunately we had to back up and go through the other spot.
So after coming to East Hardin, man, what do you think?
God, they say that. Gone.
Is that the only way to put it?
I don't devastate. I don't know. I know one thing, it's gonna be a long time before people get back on their feet.
Tell me, what were you thinking when you first heard that the levee broke? What were your thoughts?
Well, you can sit trying to think how, you know, all the stories about how high the water's gonna be when it breaks, and you know, it's gonna be 8, 10, 12 feet in buildings, but until you get over and see it, I mean, there's no comparison. And this is, can't describe it with words, pictures. I think we can't full spectrum.
Right now, trying to get across the levee. Maybe they should have put a bigger hole, huh, boys?
Yeah.
So, did the town of Hardin do everything they could to save it, do you think? What could they have done differently?
Well, we sandbagged for 13 days and up sometimes 1 o'clock at night trying to save a couple blocks, and it didn't do any good. We were holding 10 feet of water, and it didn't actually break on the one block with 10 feet of water. It was just the fact you had 15, 20 people behind the bags, and if the bags would have broke, you would lose 15 or 20 people or better, and it's not worth one life, let alone 15 or 20. So we just shut the pumps off and had to watch 13 days of work and the whole block go underwater.
What
Pretty depressing.
was it?
Real depressing. Felt you can be involved in a lot of stuff, ball games and stuff, but as far as, I mean, you just didn't lose your game. You lost a whole block and people's homes and what. Can't describe the feeling, I don't think.
That's pretty much it. As you sit there, as you look at his face, kind of tells the story. You know, he's still, a lot of people still laughing and joking, and I guess that's the way you have to be. But you can just see what it's done to people by looking at their faces. And Mark pretty much showed me that. That was Mark Mullen, by the way. It's the only way in and out of Hardin, the easy way. It's the only other boat we saw the entire day. just looking at Hardin.
Top of the cemetery and look out.
There's just water everywhere. This is back just south of the town. This is the nursing home in Hardin. They had to evacuate the people out probably about 3 weeks before this video. This was one of the first places we started sandbagging, and we thought we'd put it far enough back that we could save it, but the water just kept coming. There's nothing you can do. Employee of the Month sign back there. Nice parking spot for them. That's the medical center. That's where the doctor is in Hardin. He's now moved, obviously.
Video.
People inside cleaning out. They moved everything to higher ground, but
Yeah, no kidding.
now they're getting it out. There's the power source to Hardin. If that goes, they're all in trouble.
Oh, you want to be in here?
The aroma's great.
Yeah.
Doc's in there fishing stuff out.
They thought they could save that too. It started out very optimistic when we were sandbagging, and slowly but surely it just sort of faded away. This is down at the end of the street that my parents live on. And normally, as you can see, there's a road that's not there anymore. Sandbags that were just basically wasted. That's a highway out of town to the south. Nice pole. That's looking up towards town. As you can see, it's just pretty much all gone. Right there at the steps. Sure, they've got water in their basement, but it's not in their house. Wasted sandbags. How about the flood and everything?
Property there.
First of all, give me your name there and all that stuff.
Staff Sergeant Stephen Mathis.
Uh-huh.
I'm from Sparta. I'm stationed in Mount Vernon. And I think I have the utmost respect for people around here and the way they've been treating us, and what they're doing, what they're trying to accomplish, what they're trying to save. And I also have a lot of sorrow and pain for them, what they're going through, what they've lost.
How long have you been here?
Maybe almost about 2 weeks.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Has it been a lot of fun?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's been fun.
Okay. Water, what's been your biggest problem in dealing with this entire thing as an officer of the law?
Traffic.
Traffic? Explain.
Biggest. It was pretty bad here until the levee broke,
Yeah.
and that people direct traffic about everywhere.
Now, did you have a lot of tourists coming in to see?
Now they tried.
Yeah.
Took care of that.
Showed me that gun. That's how you took care of that traffic, wasn't it?
No.
Is that pretty much it?
Flood passes.
Flood passes? Anything else to say about the flood? Tell me something about the flood. What's been your best experience with it?
My best experience?
Yeah, what's been the best part about the entire thing? Or is there any
Probably
bright
ain't
spots?
no best. There ain't been no bright spots, I'll say that.
Okay. boy, you just can't get a guy to say, boy, the town pulled together and we did everything, did the best we could. That's what we were shooting for, but he wouldn't say it for me, gosh darn it. This is pretty much the only way to get supplies into Hardin right now. Every half hour, just about, they bring in supplies. I happened to get pictures of the only chopper that came into town that day without supplies. But that's how they fly it in. The only way out of Hardin are on little backwards country roads and that are not normally traveled. They're dirt and gravel if you're lucky. And a drive to the town of Jerseyville, which is normally 20 minutes away, is now a 3-hour drive. So, in order to get supplies in, this is pretty much how they do it. The National Guard's been in strictly for security purposes. They just walk around and pretty much patrol the town. It makes it look a lot like a war zone. It's really weird. Because it does look like war. The battle against water is turned into a war. I guess they're just probably happy the water doesn't have guns, huh? And in the town of Hardin, when a chopper lands, well, it used to be a big deal. Not much anymore. There's not much excitement in Hardin, but the chopper's flying in. Catch up to that chopper taking off. Hurry, 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 go! So I'm not a professional cameraman, what can I say? Looks kind of funny, instead of cars in driveways, it's boats in the yard. Once again, the nursing home. From a different angle. Boy, you can tell we thought we had it sandbagged off, but it just kept coming. I guess there's not going to be any basketball today. Tell me what your name is, how old you are.
Nick Camp, 12 years old.
What do you think of the flood, Nick?
Awful.
What do you mean awful?
It's getting people's houses
Yeah?
and destroying them.
Is it in your house yet?
No,
In the basement at all?
no,
No? Staying out?
mm-hmm,
Have you had any fun during the flood at all?
no.
It's not been any fun, huh?
Just sandbagging.
Where you been sandbagging at?
My grandpa Joe Bowers' house,
Mm-hmm. And how high are the sandbags up there?
about 12 or 13 feet.
Right here is the place where the sandbag levee broke the very first time, and that's where all this water came from. They had it held back. The town of Hardin had built one big levee through the entire town.
I don't like it. It's just, well, it's hard to play out here and stuff because you just really can't go outside that much because
So-
there's not enough room to play.
So where do you have to go to?
Well, we either go to Grandma's house or we just stay inside.
So there's no playing going on, huh?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
Today we filled.
Where are you going?
We're going on the boat ride later on.
Where are you going on a boat ride to?
Just around the river part over there.
Just down Main Street?
I guess, yeah.
That's pretty much the river now, huh?
Yep.
Is it in your basement and all over?
Yes, we had to flood the basement because the pump was getting really pressured. And today we filled 50 sandbags because the water started to go up. And so Mom had to put some more sandbags on there, on the other sandbags.
A child's perspective of the flood. There's no place to play. They tried to build one big levee throughout the entire town, and one spot broke. This gentleman kept building that trailer up. He bought his flood insurance. He was blocking it up, but he kept the water out for 5 days, and he got himself covered. He busted out all his windows when it fell off the blocks once. Lost all his help when it fell off the blocks. Nobody wanted to help him anymore. But he kept to it, and he got his money. A sandbag levee had just broke behind this garage earlier in the day, and they're pumping it out right now. And the last time I was in there, it was bone dry. So they've got it all out, and they were keeping it out. They're stealing sandbags that aren't being used from somebody else's house. My sister's house, actually. When they said they were going to let it go, my sister had an hour to get her stuff out, and she said probably 100 people were there, just moving stuff. They came from everywhere, and within an hour, she had her entire house moved out. That's what people do. Everybody works. That's how you move your sandbags around. Look at all their cars in the background. And here's a fine little house twisting off the foundation. That's in the basement of that house. It's come up another step since the video has been shot. When the water came in, it hit their hydraulic jack. The water rushed into the garage and just pushed all the oil out, so they had a huge oil spill, I guess. And that's what these people are doing, trying to get the oil out of the water. As you see them sitting around with the big tanks, and she's holding on to a hose there.
More grief on people's face because there's a lot of grief here. There's a lot of pain and yeah. Everybody's tired, wore out, and sick of it. But you can't get away from it.
For almost a month now, they've been battling it. And there's the whole picture. It's everywhere. And you can't get away from it. And every flood video has to have the picture of a boat going down a street. That's this obligatory picture right here. It's got to be there. People just going out sightseeing. Here's behind the sandbags at the bank. I'll give you an idea how high it is. It's a very eerie feeling standing behind them too, because you know they could go at any time, and when they go, the water just rushes in.
Talk to me. Come back. Tell me the story.
No.
Yeah.
About, well, at least 7 foot wide on the bottom. What, 6 foot high at the top. We got 7 sub pumps running. And 4 gas operated pumps.
Tell me what your name is.
Oh, Robert E. Lee.
Tell me. Here, you gotta talk loud.
Robert E. Lee.
And how has the flood affected your life, man? What's
Well,
the
right now I got 8 inches coming into the floor of the barber shop. I have to boat in and boat out of my house. It's not in my house, but I have to boat back and forth. Hoses at once, the floater pump.
is, and then tell me how the flood's affected your life and what it's done.
Dang. Made life miserable. 12 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And what's it done to your business here?
We're still in business, doing fine. Got a West County facility now. Got people coming down here. We're gonna make it. That wall's gonna hold.
Is everything still in the bank, or have you moved it out?
Well, we moved a lot of stuff out, but we're still dry on the inside.
I found it kind of ironic. That wall's going to hold, but we've moved everything out of the bank, which they have. It's going out of Hardin to the north, and that's a temporary bridge you're looking at.
Tell me, what's your name?
My name's Tom Hof.
And where are you from, Tom?
I go to school at Eastern Illinois University.
In Charleston. Very nice. And where are you from originally?
I'm from over by Olney, Illinois.
Okay. And what's your job here tonight?
My job is to keep the people from going across this road.
This road,
right?
right?
Dangerous because well, actually, that road's about 8 feet taller than it originally is. It's they put gravel on it. And it's pyramid. If somebody goes off the side of the road, they're most likely to drown. So, just keep people from driving through there.
How long you been here?
12 days.
Are you ready to go home, man?
Very much so. I'm flunking out summer classes.
Oh, they can't flunk you for this, can they?
No, but it's gonna be hard to make them up, before fall semester starts. So, they told us to be here about August 1st or so.
Wow.
Then after that's on a volunteer basis.
There it is. The bank, the medical center, and the post office. It's all been moved into St. Norbert's grade school.
How you doing tonight?
Fine.
Not too bad. What's your name? Here, let me get you in focus. Let me get you in focus. My focus ain't working. I don't know how to do it. Okay. Huh? How come I can't get you in focus?
I don't know.
Okay, there we go. What's your name?
Eric Peter.
Eric, where are you from?
I'm originally from Evansville, Indiana.
And are you enjoying yourself here?
I'm having a great time.
What's been the best part about being here in the flood, man?
Oh, the food, definitely.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you put on any weight?
Oh, I think a little bit.
Really? Those khakis getting a little tight there around the waist?
Started to.
Yeah, so are you bank security tonight or post office security?
Post office security.
Post office security.
That's federal property. We got to make sure nothing happens to that.
Really? Okie doke. Smoke them if you got them, man.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay. How many packs of cigarettes you go through while you're watching the post office tonight?
Oh, I'm still on my first pack.
Okay. Unbelievable.
And there it is, one town story against the flood and what it's done. It's up and down the river like this all over the place. Hopefully the water will be gone very, very soon, but it's not likely.